Well, it seems to be a custom for people to do a New Year's message or go over their New Year's resolutions. So I guess this is my attempt at doing that. Being retired for 17 years. Wow, time flies. Anyway, I live alone. My wife passed away 4 years ago. So at any rate, being alone, not completely, I've got some close friends and of course family, children and grandchildren. So the reason I bring all that up is it sort of puts things in perspective, because my view of the future won't be the same as yours, obviously. In retirement, the thing that you have to deal with is a lot of free time. Most of us worked very hard during our careers, and put food on the table and whatnot. So now that that's no longer a necessity, what do I do with my time? Well, one thing I got into very heavily shortly after retirement was managing my investments. And I use that term and I'm not sure that's applicable, but at any rate, in 2005, I started getting pretty heavy into selling covered stock option contracts. And in the beginning, that's when the commission rates were so high, I made more money for the brokerage than I did for myself. But I made enough that it was better than anything else income producing thing I could find to do. Now that the commission rates are essentially gone, it's become very lucrative. So for a relatively small amount of my nest egg, I can have a good income thrown off from that. As for the rest of my time, because selling covered stock options only takes an hour a week, I spend more time doing my website and the YouTube videos covering that than I do in the actual placing orders, etc. But in addition to that, I about 6 months ago started a new hobby, which is welding. I hadn't welded in 50 years. And anyway, I got into that and enjoyed it immensely. And the downside was I got into it too fast and too big. I live in a 55 plus community, which has strict rules about what you can do. And running a steel yard was not what they had in mind. So at any rate, I'm going to downsize for two reasons. Number one, I've built all the big stuff that I can use, so I'm all dressed up, no place to go on that. So the solution is to do small stuff, which also allows me to reduce the workspace I need. And I'll be able to move a lot of that activity indoors. I'll still have to do this stuff that sparks, throws off sparks and flames and whatnot. I'll still have to do that in the carport. But one of the things I want to add soon is a metal lathe, small one. so I can turn and true up metal stock. I'm particularly interested in taking rebar, which is a cheap way of buying steel, and turning it to true it up. And once that's done, it's actually a pretty piece of metal. And so I'm going to take these small cylinders, if you will, and make things from that. And I'll turn other things too, because if you're going to build small precision stuff, all your facings have to be true, flat, and the lathe is the way to get that done. And I've already got a drill press in the inside. I'm putting that into the lanai on my home, and it's air conditioned, so I can work in the heat of the Central Florida summers. So that's going to be a major transition in the first 6 months of this year. That'll be the most time-consuming thing I'll be doing. And while tiresome, and some of it requires heavy lifting, which my old body is not happy with, it's going to be interesting, and it'll keep me busy. Otherwise, went on 2 cruises this last year. The first one was just awful. In fact, I've sailed a lot on Norwegian cruise lines, but my last 2 cruises with them were poor. The last one I went on was an absolute disaster. I felt like I'd been robbed. So I won't be sailing on NCL anymore. I've discovered a new cruise line, MSC. I've only been on 1 cruise. This last year I did 1 cruise on that, and enjoyed it a great deal. And the pricing's very good. So I may do 1 or more cruises in 2023. I would like to tour America with a Amtrak rail pass, which is a 30-day pass to ride on any of the trains. Unfortunately, my significant other now, she doesn't like riding on the train so much. I enjoy it immensely, but so that'll temper that. And I drive very little. In fact, I gave my car away. One thing, when I reached 75 this last year here in Central Florida, my insurance rate, despite having no claims in the last decades, doubled. They're really trying to get seniors off their policies. And with me, they did that because it would run me close to $200 a month just for insurance. And the last year I did own a car, I only put 1,200 miles on it. So that works out to be about $1 a mile just for insurance. So I'll just Uber. Makes more sense for me. Okay, well, I'm rambling, I know, but rambling is a part of retirement. You don't have to be nearly as efficient when you're retired, and certainly in no hurry. Anyway, in the comments if you'd like to address some of your wants, desires, and view of 2023, please put those in the comments. And I wish you a prosperous and healthy 2023.